Skimmers are a new vehicle type introduced to Destiny 2 with the 2024 Guardian Games event. Within the first few minutes of using one, I think the majority of the Destiny community agrees. Why would we ever use Sparrows again? Skimmers are just as fast as Sparrows. Along with being able to do some really cool tricks on them, they have the ability to grind. Grinding can basically be summed up as just the ability to fly. Sparrows are primarily bound to the ground and have very few rare perks to give them an edge. In this video, I wanted to go over the history of Sparrows in Destiny, their innovations over the years, and the hypothetical ideas I have to give Sparrows more versatility and contention to Skimmers. So let's rewind back to 2014. Sparrows have been an essential part of the Destiny universe since the beginning. The first time we received one was a game-changing moment. Being able to summon a vehicle on the fly and quickly traverse the map was an amazing mechanic. Sparrows were pretty basic back then, only being able to boost, dodge side to side, and perform basic emotes on while riding. And I wanted to add one extra feature that I missed that most people didn't utilize. It was being able to send your Sparrow flying at enemies like a mobile bomb. Please bring this back, Bungie. So those were the basic features back then. That is, until we discovered a special Sparrow from the Vault of Glass raid, the first unique Sparrow that deviated from the average functionality of the Sparrows we knew at the time. The Vault of Glass Sparrow, called Timebreaker, and later the Crota's End and Wrath of the Machine Sparrows, all had a new unique perk called Overdrive. Overdrive allowed you to engage a super boost to reach higher speeds, the downfall being that the Sparrow would eventually self-destruct after doing so. This was a game changer and showed the potential of what Sparrows could do. So the next major innovation to Sparrows came with Destiny 1's first DLC, The Dark Below. A bonus for pre-ordering this DLC was a new unique Sparrow called the EV-30 Tumbler. This was the first Sparrow to feature the perk Destabilizers. Activating the perk would give you the ability to roll or flip the Sparrow in any direction you wished in mid-air. This was huge for the time, and I remember pulling off some sweet tricks shortly after its release, like this absolute best trick I've ever landed in Destiny right here. And one last innovation for Sparrows in Destiny 1, it was introduced in December of 2015 during the Taken King expansion. A new event made waves in the Destiny community, SRL. SRL, or Sparrow Racing League, had players race Sparrows on some all-new racetracks to earn new Sparrows, armor, and horns? That's right, with this event, Sparrow horns were added to the game. They were definitely an odd addition, but one most people were okay with, except maybe the people being followed by the constant duck sounds. And although it got a little repetitive, overall SRL was a big hit, and even had 2 more maps introduced the following year during the Dawning event. Now we're at Destiny 2, a game that, at least after the first year, mostly improved on everything Destiny 1 had. That is, except Sparrows. As far as I can remember and find, nothing new functionally was added to Sparrows in vanilla Destiny 2. In fact, Sparrow horns were even removed, so that's a negative. Arguably. The next sort of innovation to Sparrows, so to speak, was introduced during the Scourge of the Past raid during Season of the Forge in Destiny 2's second year. The Sparrow was called Always On Time. Aside from being the fastest Sparrow in the game at the time, it also was the first Sparrow in a long time to introduce its own special perk. It was called Stealth Running. Stealth Running states enemies are less aggressive towards the player when riding this Sparrow. This would go down as the absolute best Sparrow in Destiny 2 for years, until recently. The only other notable changes to Sparrows in Destiny 2 came during Season 23. This change made all legendary and exotic Sparrows in the game move at the same speed, so Always On Time was no longer the fastest Sparrow in the game. This change was mostly loved by all because now everybody could use whatever Sparrow they liked without their speed being lower than the best one. And now, still in Season 23, we finally come to Skimmers, an all-new vehicle type that goes in the Sparrow slot. And like I said in the beginning, they are amazing and better than Sparrows in almost every way. And aside from speedrunners using hard-to-master Sparrow flying techniques to reach new heights, the average player will never choose a Sparrow over a Skimmer if they have a choice. So that brings up a whole new question. What can we do with Sparrows to have them rival the tech and fun of Skimmers? Well, I had some immediate ideas that I wanted to share with you, and some of these ideas I've had in my head for almost 10 years. Obviously, I wanted to say I am not a game developer, so I don't know how hard some of this could be to implement, and I'm sure some of it's just a pipe dream or some copium, but I'd still like to share the ideas because I think it's fun. So I think one thing we could do is break down Sparrows into different archetypes. I'll start out easy with 2 different archetypes that come to mind. One would be Speed Sparrows, obviously work in progress on the name, and one would be Heavy Sparrows. Speed Sparrows I would make probably faster than Skimmers, the fastest in the game. Doesn't have to be by much, just, 10 points faster maybe. Maybe make them even a little bit weaker to counteract that. But I think it'd be really cool to see perks like the old Raid Sparrows where you can overdrive it, make it go super fast, maybe make it last even longer before it would explode. And besides just being faster, maybe give the Sparrows different perk options as well. Something that comes to mind for a speed type Sparrow would be the ability to jump. So while you're riding and you take a jump, you can activate the jump button and make you fly even further. Kind of like the side boost, maybe make it boost really hard to the side or even backwards so you can drive towards something and boost backwards. And a couple other silly ideas I had for that type of Sparrow. Maybe the possibility to blink, so you can blink past some enemies or blink past an object or something. And maybe even an ability to go invisible for the duration of your boost. I think that would be pretty cool too. Just go invisible, slide past some enemies, don't have to engage with them. So those are just a few ideas for a speed archetype Sparrow that I had. Next, I'll share a few ideas for the heavy archetype I'm thinking of. For these, I would make them just a little bit slower than the other Sparrows, but I would also give them more durability so they can take more shots from enemies. Now, a big pipe dream that everyone's wished since the beginning is giving a Sparrow guns, and that would be a really fun idea, but it would be so hard to implement, I'm sure. They'd have to change the design of every bigger Sparrow in the game to accommodate that, so I just don't see that happening, but I just wanted to throw it out there. But I was thinking maybe extra abilities, like when you get close to enemies, you can use your boost to emit a shockwave of damage that maybe hurts them or EMPs the enemies or stuns them or something. That'd be kind of neat. Like Armor Lock from Halo Reach. Or, hear me out, maybe have the ability to have a teammate hop on the back of some of the Sparrows as well. Yeah. I know that might be a little obnoxious, maybe even overpowered, I'm not really sure. I don't see how it would hurt too much of the game except maybe in Sparrow control, which I'm sure they can figure out the logistics of that. But the point of all of this is that Sparrows have had very little innovation over the years, and now that Skimmers are out and are better than Sparrows in just about every way, Sparrows definitely need a refresh. They need something new added that can help them rival Skimmers, because as the way I see it, none of us are going to be using Sparrows, which is very unfortunate because they have so much potential. Like I said, even if they just started basic and made lighter Sparrows faster than Skimmers and maybe some other Sparrows slower but can take more damage, like the always on time perk kind of, something like that. And then maybe add other things in like the ability to go invisible or pulsating bursts that can EMP enemies. But this was all just to initiate a discussion. So with that being said, I'd love to hear some of your ideas that could make Sparrows relevant again. So let me know down in the comments section if you like any of my ideas, and also don't be afraid to share some of your own ideas that could make Sparrows relevant again in the age of Skimmers. And if you enjoyed this video, don't be afraid to like and subscribe. I've been uploading gaming content on here for about 15 years, but only recently tried getting into these narration type videos with Destiny. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.